This year is all about trying new things, or better yet, going back to an old thing. Stars and duds of the week. You'll have been on me to bring this back, so why not? It's a chance to discuss why the Premier League and football beyond Arsenal, but inclusive of Arsenal. You know, I'm never going to snake that and forget about it. Now, the clues in the name: stars, teams, players. Obviously, everybody that's been doing their thing in the recent Premier League round of fixtures, and likewise those that have been duds. Now, if I crack on you, I'm not going to lie. Chelsea's front three, mad thing. Got Morgan Rogers, bit booky outside of the area. In the box, he's clinical. João Pedro, that's younger Gabriel Jesus. I wish he was at our club. And shock horror, Cole Palmer is fit and he's raring to go. Now, whether a team has done positive or negative, my team included, we need to be wary of drawing conclusions. If I'm brutally honest, people, you know, for me, the Premier League don't really start until 10 weeks in, people. So everybody's at a level playing field. That goes for me. That goes for your club. That goes for the good, the bad, and indifference. We have to be wary of drawing conclusions. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You know, the amount, you know, sometimes the amount of games you play, the amount of games you don't play, injuries, suspensions, all of these things play a part, people. We've got to remember this is a marathon. We've seen one Premier League round of fixtures. There's 37 to go, people. So, yeah, before we crack on and continue, people, let me share my screen with you guys. If you've been living under a rock, the Premier League champions, the current Premier League champions, kicked off things by beating Coventry City 3-0. Hull City, you're getting mauled by the Tigers, you know, absolutely demolished Manchester United 2-0, and it should have been a lot worse. Everton, by the same scoreline, beat Crystal Palace. Big up Moisey. Credit to Ipswich Town winning 2-1 against Sunderland. Some good goals in that game. Fantastic free kick in their Leeds game, to be fair. They won a goal to nil against Nottingham Forest. Tottenham get battered. Everywhere they go. Were stung by the bees. Big up Brentford. And you know what? Generally, stay safe out there, man. Stay safe out there. There's tigers, there's bees, there's etc. Brighton demolished Aston Villa. It's going from bad to worse for Villa, innit? Brighton 4, Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 2, Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 2, Liverpool 2. And yesterday we saw a 5-goal thriller in the bus stop derby between Fulham Broadway, two Fulham Broadway clubs in Fulham, who actually are in Fulham. Big up Fulham. Chelsea won 3-2 in that 5-goal thriller. Now, again, if we just generally go over the games, people, I'm trying to avoid speaking about Arsenal, but 3 points, clean sheet, 3 goals. I don't know about the Pagans. Individually and collectively, we did our thing. I think, you know, everybody was good. Rice was good. Zolis was good. Odegaard picked up where he left off in the World Cup / the Manchester City game. I think Saka was encouraging. Calafiori did his thing. Miles Lewis-Skelly did his thing. David Raya weren't called into action like that, but calm and influence. We did our thing. In terms of Arsenal players or Arsenal rhetoric, if there was one player that, granted, respectfully, is commentary, that I don't feel got any real plaudits or any talking points, I would say Christian Mascari did his thing. I have to give credit to Hull City. You know, Manchester United fans are entitled to be as optimistic or as pessimistic as they want about their season. But I do think it's quite lazy to say they're finished and all of that. Likewise, I think it's quite basic to assume, oh my God, if Carrick took over, if Carrick had the full season that Amarin did, or if Carrick came at the start of the season and we sacked Amarin during the Grimsby Town thing, we could have did this, that, and the third. Again, people, whether it's from a coaching point, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's Chelsea, whether it's Tottenham with all of their signings, whether it's Manchester United and it's gone negative, you know, some of these clubs, I said, in the last few years have been in a good moment, have been in a bad moment. You don't get into a bad moment overnight. You don't get into a good moment overnight. Pre-season ain't this magical place you go off to, and all the wrongs are written from last season. So I think Man United fans, some were quite naive. I think you're a bit naive if you think everything's going to gel, you know, come together in one game. Obviously, you've got to remember you're playing a side in Hull and there's no excuses because they should have done better, but you're playing a side in Hull City that have just been promoted. It's 12:30 kickoff. It's at their ground. It's the start of their season. They're going to be up for it, you know. So it was a bit of a madness in that. And I don't want to praise Spurs because I hope De Zerbi does what he normally does in that. They have one half-decent season and then he leaves. You know, they've spent a lot of money. It's not all going to gel overnight. They were missing players. But again, you have to give credit to Hull City from start to finish. You know, their centre-halves bagged. They were on it. They gave their fans a great moment. Brighton as well, collectively as a team, absolutely slaughtered Aston Villa. You know, Brentford stung Spurs and they were on it, and it should have been more if they didn't miss a penalty in some couple of half chances. A wise man once said on TalkSport's Goal Show, and Archie Gray isn't on nothing. I know Spurs never had all of their key players, but Archie Gray being captain away from home, you know they're going to get savaged. And as a North London club to a North London club, I could tell you there might be a silver lining if you get thumped up by Brentford. I don't quite reserve that to you lot. So yeah, man, I think Crystal Palace were quite poor. Mateta and Munus, if I'm brutally honest with you. So credit to Everton. Aston Villa is horrible in it. You know, you've lost Onana for a season. You've lost Teletubby. Sorry, Telemans in midfield. Sorry, he looked like a Teletubby in midfield against Hull. And Man United's midfield was a mess. So was Bruno. Bruno Fernandes incredibly frustrating people and really should be in stars. Should be in my dud side. But yeah, it's been horrible for Aston Villa. Konsa's gone to Arsenal. Rodgers has gone to Chelsea. Luka Dean's gone to Paris Saint-Germain. Emi Martinez might still very well go. Their team's been decimated in it, and it's a really around the spine. But some of the goals they were conceding, in fact, all of the goals, you know, they should have scored early doors. Brighton pressed. Brighton looked like a cohesive unit. Aston Villa looked like everything. But, you know, spare a thought for João Gomez. You've not only dropped a clanger and made a mistake, which led to a goal, you've also been sent off. So it was a bit of a madness. Now, if I look at Chelsea, I can't cap to you lot, people. They got the best front three in the league. Now, again, I don't want to draw conclusions, but I mean, everyone knows I'm an Arsenal fan, but people sit there and say I'm a Chelsea fan. It's just no. I just feel they throw too much money at this for it not to work. And also, I feel, you know, they are a big club, in it. They're gonna get it right sooner rather than later, people. And yeah, it's only Fulham. Yeah, it's only Coventry. Yeah, it's only one game if you're Brentford, if you're Spurs losing to Brentford or Man United losing to Hull. But Chelsea look good. We could sit here, João Pedro quality, Cole Palmer quality. Some of the goals all of the goals could have been avoided from both teams, and I think the defender was quite comical. Cole Palmer fit is a problem for everyone that's not a Chelsea fan, in it. He's a baller. Shot caller, he's fit. He looks psychologically in a better moment and hungry. Morgan Rogers, I think outside of the penalty box, there's a bit more to come from him, but clinical. João Pedro, for me, would have, I know Palmer will get the plaudits, and rightly so. I think João Pedro was the best one. If I had to isolate something with Chelsea that beyond the obvious, it's the centre halves actually galloping forward and stuff. Like, is it Lacole? I think he did very, very well in that regards. Now, obviously, Chelsea, I'll be really, really scared of Chelsea when I think they're of a suitable level in defense, and their goalie in Sanchez is just clearly not good enough. But I think they did their thing, man. They attacked well. I've said, for me, I feel Xabi Alonso gives me like similarities with Mikel Arteta in 2019, in that Chelsea are not going to get there overnight. There's a couple of transfer windows. Obviously, the whole defensive ethos, how they press, you know, how they close down the space. There was actually red flags in the Fulham game, sorry. But I think there's a lot to come. I actually think Chelsea did their thing, man. Fair play to them. You know, spare a thought for Bournemouth, because I did feel Manchester City started the game very well, like a house on fire. Then when Bournemouth settled, they were playing well. Alex Scott was good. They were sitting in that 4-4-2. They obviously, well, they shot themselves in the foot, in it. And again, I think they've been on a great unbeaten run generally. What a way to end it. So I think, you know, you have to give credit to City's centre halves in Mark Gurley and Guardiola for turning that around. Newcastle versus Liverpool was quite the game, if I'm honest with you. And I quite feel Newcastle probably count themselves unlucky. Do I think it was a penalty in Lewis Hall's case? Soft, but being soft doesn't mean it's not a penalty. It is one that saved Liverpool's blushes. Szoboszlai, probably the only Liverpool player that left that with any credibility. Like last season, he's been saving their kind of bacon. Spurs are terrible in all aspects. Like Bergvall moving mad, you know, cheap mistakes when they, you know, attacks breaking down. I do think Spurs fans are being a bit harsh on Tell, because he weren't amazing, but I don't think he deserves the level of scrutiny that he got, people. But yeah, man. So if I was to get my 11 out, or I tried to make an 11, like I said, let's start with the stars, in it. I'm trying my best not to include Arsenal players, because again, it's gonna get boring, in it. But shout out to everybody connected to Arsenal. You know what, shout out to everyone connected to Brentford, to Arsenal, actually to Everton. I actually feel the Bournemouth players, definitely the Brighton players, and things of that ilk. So I'm also trying to not just do the top six thing, in it. Like, it's boring, in it, if I'm completely honest with you. So if I was to do my starting 11, I'm going with David Raya. 3 Premier League champions, in it, kept a clean sheet. So I'm going with David Raya in goal. I'm going with Chelsea's Lacole just for the 11. Yeah, he's playing right back. I think he was very good. I think he duppied someone from Fulham. I don't know where Leno was going. And, you know, he did all the hard work for Morgan Rogers. So I'm going Lacole right back. I'm going Semi Ajayi of Hull City at centre-half. Big up Hull. I'm going Guardiola because it was a good finish and he saved City's bacon, partner in his centre-half. I'm going De Koper. I can't say his name, man, but the Brighton lad, the left back, well, he can play in a couple of roles. He's going to go left back for me. In midfield, I'm going Mahamadou Sangara, Brentford. He was quality. I think he made his debut, and what a debut he had. Like I said, several players from Brentford, well, the whole of Brentford, the whole of Arsenal, a couple more Chelsea players, to be brutally honest. I feel a couple of more Bournemouth players, to be honest with you, all could have been part of the starting 11. So I'm going Sangare of Brighton. I'm going Hazelwood for his brace for Brighton in midfield as well. This is just to make an 11. And I'm torn between Statch of Leeds. I liked his free kick. And I actually feel Alex Scott and Semenyo were the two players when I watched Manchester City Bournemouth that I thought, you man, like you two are playing very well. So I'm torn. So I'll leave that to you between Alex Scott and Stunt. So I'll put a slash. Up front, I'm going Visa. I think Newcastle's Visa had a very good game. Shout Alanga and Joe Willock. João Pedro has to be up there for Chelsea. And I'm going to go Cole Palmer as well, man. I think that was his best game in a hot second, if I'm honest with you. And like I said, if there was the Arsenal bias, I think Zolis deserves to be there, but I'm trying to be as non-Arsenal as I can in it, because I think Zola should be in the 11 people. So like I said, all of Brighton, all of Arsenal, all of Bournemouth, all of Brentford, you have to big up Cody Gakpo as well, because I know he's frustrating and he's actually been linked with Man City somehow. I think he did his thing. Big up the young Josh King of Fulham. Big up Alanga for his moments. Big up Lewis Porter, Drewsbury Hall, and all of those things. Now, where you look at duds of the week, people. I feel there's three keepers that could get. I think Kingsky could, and I can't decide. I think Kingsky could get it off Spurs, got drummed for 3. I think the Aston Villa keeper could be there, got drummed for 4. I think Sanchez, if there was one player that looked off par and looked like he's trying his best to not get 3 points, obviously he's not doing it on purpose, of Chelsea, I'd say Sanchez. And Leno, man, I think Leno was poor. So quite a few guys. So I'll leave that to you. I'll go with Sanchez, Chelsea slander. I'll go with Sanchez or Kingsky, to be fair. You know what? Kingsky, I'll go with you in it because them lot are down the road. I'm going with him. Archie Gray's going right back for me. Harry Maguire is going centre half. Now, there's people that have conceded more goals than Man United, but Harry Maguire is marking his own man in one of the goals that United have conceded. I'm sorry, but that's duddery, in it. So Harry Maguire, Lindelof's in there. Van Hecke is going to do a job for me at left back. I'm going Tonali of Spurs. It could have been Bergval, but we got agendas to push. I'm going Tonali. I'm going Tellemans in midfield. I'm going Gomez of Aston Villa. He stunk up the place and got a red card. Up front, Florian Wirtz, still not seeing anything. I actually think Isaac will be all right, but it doesn't look fully fit. Side note, I actually think Newcastle are going to do well under this gaffer, but to be fair, Isaac started the season. You were injured for large parts of it. You're clearly not fully fit. There's deeper problems necessarily inclusive of the front line, but not necessarily restricted to the front line of Liverpool. But end of the day, Isak was bought for big money. It's the Isak derby, shadow of his former self. And fair enough if Szoboszlai took the penalty and scored, but I would have thought Isak would have taken that against his former club, etc. So Isak versus Richarlison, people. But it could have been the majority of the United players, all of Spurs, all of Aston Villa, Bergval in particular as well. It could have been other people. So, yeah, man, I actually think Chelsea, one game a week. Xabi Alonso is a footballing genius, if I'm honest with you. Same way I feel about Mikel Arteta, just at football at its purest level. Forget what he's doing at Chelsea. I think Chelsea are in the title challenge, innit? Like, one game a week, let's see what they can do, people, essentially. So my hot take of this week, questioning my own logic, would be Arsenal to win the league, Chelsea United for second, third. Chelsea City for second, third. United to sneak fourth. I don't think Spurs are involved, people. So yeah, man, stars and duds of the week are back. Let me know if I've let anything out, people, whether you agree, disagree, and just your wider footballing conversations.